Wake up. It's time for your daily lucky block.
Alright, let's get this over with.
You know the drill. Everyone gets one unlucky block.
Seriously? Do I have to open it?
That's up to you, but hurry up. I don't have all day.
I think I'll pass today. Everyone knows it's too risky to open unlucky blocks. You're basically guaranteed to get something bad. Last time I opened one, I got a zombie with full diamond armor. Almost everyone in my neighborhood died to one of their unlucky blocks. It's just not worth the risk.
I'm starving. Please be food.
For some reason, my neighbor decided to test his luck.
Wait, no.
I need backup. There's a mutant zombie on the loose.
Yeah, definitely not worth it. Lucky Block Civilization really isn't all that lucky. There's pretty much nothing here except for the Lucky Block factory, and no one's even allowed inside. I figured that out the hard way. One time, I was just checking it out and I found a lever next to this giant gated door. Curious, I tried to flick it, but right as I was about to...
Stop right there.
Oh god.
Were you just trying to sneak into the factory?
What? No, I was just taking a look.
Yeah, right. You're not fooling me. You know your punishment. You're opening a super unlucky block right now.
What? No, please. Those things are death traps. I'll be dead for sure.
Should have thought about that before you went poking around somewhere you don't belong.
Everyone knows super unlucky blocks are the worst. With my luck, I was basically already dead.
Come on, pick it up.
Fine. Come on, please be safe.
Huh. Looks like you got lucky this time. But if I catch you snooping around this place again, you won't get near as lucky.
Somehow, I got insanely lucky and avoided death. Barely. That could have gone a lot worse. Pretty much everything here is done through lucky blocks. You want armor? Gotta open a lucky block for it. Need some food? Better hope you're lucky. Even if you refuse to open the unlucky blocks, you'll still end up starving to death. Most people here don't even bother to open their unlucky blocks. That's because there's this place called the Lucky Block Pawn Shop. It's not official, but the guards don't seem to care. Everyone can come here to trade in their unlucky blocks for a lucky block. The odds still aren't that great, but it's a lot safer than the unlucky blocks.
Just one? I gave you 14 blocks. This is a robbery.
This isn't a charity, man. You take what you can get.
There's always someone trying to get their hands on more lucky blocks, but it never really works out for them. I head up next and trade in my 10 unlucky blocks. The shop owner hands me just one lucky block, but I don't care. These aren't as risky. You almost always get something decent from them. I stepped outside and opened my block. Food. Just enough to keep me going for a couple more days. This is basically how it goes. Everything revolves around these blocks. You eat from them, you get gear from them, you might even die from them. But luckily, I know how to play it safe. On my way back, I saw the guards bringing in a new neighbor, since the other one kinda died this morning. Hey, is it your first day?
Yeah, I think so. Where even am I?
This is Lucky Block Civilization.
What? Why don't I remember anything? Who even am I?
Don't worry, that's normal. We don't know anything about what's outside of these walls. The guards don't really let us leave.
What's that building over there? The big one with the smoke coming out of the top.
That's the Lucky Block factory. It's where they make the blocks. No one's allowed in except the guards.
So how does this place work? What if I want to leave?
You better hope you get lucky. The only way to leave this place is to get a token from a Lucky Block, but it's insanely rare. I've never even seen it. I don't think anyone has.
So that's just it? We just keep opening unlucky blocks and hope we don't die?
Pretty much. That's just how it is here.
That's not fair. Wait, if they make the blocks in that factory, why can't we just sneak in and take some of the good ones?
Are you crazy? That place is off limits. There are guards everywhere.
Still, you risk your life every time you open an unlucky block. You might as well risk your life for a better chance to leave too.
You don't get it. I've tried before and I got caught before I could even get close. He even made me open a super unlucky block as punishment and I almost died.
They're clearly hiding something in there. You could just be in and out quick. You might even get one of those super rare tokens in there.
He made a good point. If I ever want to leave this place, I'm gonna have to do something different. Sneaking into the factory might actually be the best way to get my hands on a token.
Look, either way, there's a chance you die every day you spend here. Maybe taking the risk is worth it.
You know what? You're right. It's time I try and escape. That night, I waited until it was dark and snuck out to the Lucky Block factory. There were 2 guards standing by the entrance. If I wanted in, I would need a distraction. Luckily, I had a leftover unlucky block in my inventory. Whatever I get out of this would make a perfect distraction. I made my way over to a tree beside the factory and placed my unlucky block. Come on, just give me something loud. I broke the block and out of it came a single block of TNT. That's perfect. I ran back to my hiding spot and waited. And just in time...
What was that? I don't know. Let's check it out.
The guards took the bait, and now I had to sneak in fast. I made my way through the gate and behind one of the conveyor belts. I made it in, but it was still crawling with guards. If I wanted to make it out of this place with some lucky blocks, I would need to be super careful. Directly across from me, I could see a conveyor belt full of lucky blocks. If I could make it over there, I'd be able to grab as many as I needed. I'd be sure to get a token out of all of those. But just as I was about to sneak over, a group of 2 more guards showed up.
Did you hear that noise earlier?
Yeah, probably just another idiot opening a block too close to the wall again.
Both the guards walked off and I had the perfect opportunity. I snuck across behind them and made my way to the lucky blocks. I grabbed as many blocks as I could. I was still on a time limit and I had to get out as fast as I can. But while I was grabbing all the blocks, I heard a couple guards approaching me fast. I had to hide. I hid behind a couple nearby barrels and listened in on their conversation.
You sure this thing's calibrated right? That last batch was almost too unlucky.
That's the point. They're getting too comfortable. We need to make them more unlucky.
So tomorrow's batch is gonna be super unlucky?
Yeah, it's somehow gonna be worse than that mutant zombie they got today.
Uh-oh, they're rigging the blocks. They're making them super unlucky. The blocks are made to kill us, and tomorrow's gonna be even worse than ever. That must be why no one's ever gotten the token. They're making sure no one can ever leave Lucky Block Civilization. I had to get out of here. I got what I came for, now I just had to make it out. I slipped out from behind the barrels and ran back home. I didn't get much sleep that night, but the next morning, the guards woke me up and I knew exactly what was going on.
Wake up, it's time for your daily lucky block.
I definitely wasn't opening this one. Not after what I heard.
I guess I'll go first.
Wait, don't! He had no clue what was going on. As soon as he opened his block, he'd be dead for sure. But I couldn't warn him. If I said anything, the guards would know that I was spying on them.
I mean, how bad could it really be?
Everyone just sat back and watched in silence. The guards and I both knew exactly what was going on, and there was nothing we could do to stop it. I stood back and prepared for the worst, but then nothing happened. All he got was one single item, a token.
What is that?
That's an upgrade token. I'd only heard about them in rumors, never in person, especially not from a super unlucky batch.
Wow, nice.
Dude, that's the token I was telling you about yesterday. That's the rarest drop ever.
Huh, that's cool, I guess.
That wasn't supposed to happen, but come with me, I guess.
Okay.
Just like that, they walked off together. The guard led him to a gate and let him out scot-free. I didn't know how to feel. That was the first time I'd ever seen anyone actually get out. Maybe it is actually possible to leave this place.
So, are you gonna open yours or not?
No, leave me alone. I still wasn't gonna open my block, but that moment changed everything. I still had blocks left over from last night, so I head to the pawn shop, excited to get some lucky blocks and possibly leave this place once and for all.
That's a lot of blocks.
Yeah, I've been saving up.
Weren't you just in here yesterday?
No.
Whatever here. This is 6 lucky blocks. Use them wisely.
6 new lucky blocks. I was almost guaranteed to get an upgrade token at this point. I made my way outside and started opening my blocks. I broke my first block expecting something good, but all I got was a saddle. Okay, I still have 5 more. I opened more blocks, and next I got a puffer fish, then some steak, and then a single firework. There's no way. These are lucky blocks. They should be luckier than this. I opened my last 2 blocks and got nothing but a couple iron tools. This doesn't make any sense. None of this is even remotely useful. My neighbor just got an upgrade token out of a super unlucky block, and I can't get 1 out of 6 lucky blocks? There's no way this is right. There was obviously something I was missing. There's something these guards aren't telling us. I need answers, and I'm not gonna stop until I find them. I made my way back into the pawn shop. I had to find out what was really going on.
Back already? Did you get the token?
Don't mess with me. I opened 6 blocks and got nothing but garbage. How is that possible?
I guess you just got unlucky. That's how it works, remember?
No, my neighbor opened a super unlucky block and pulled the rarest drop ever. I just opened 6 lucky ones from your stash and I got nothing.
Look, I just sell the blocks. I don't know anything about what's inside them.
Yeah, right. You're working with the guards, aren't you?
What? No. I just run a business here, man.
I could tell he was lying. He had to be hiding something. Whatever. I made my way outside and secretly hid behind one of the trees. I knew something weird was going on here and I was gonna figure it out. I waited behind this tree for hours, waiting for him to leave. But then I finally saw him walk out. But he wasn't heading towards the village. For some reason, he was heading towards the factory. I was about to catch him red-handed.
You said he's getting suspicious, right?
Yeah, he came back ranting about rigged blocks. He almost blew my cover.
You gave him unlucky ones, right?
Of course, just like you said, no real loot inside. Don't worry, he's not going to get out.
I was right. He was clearly working with the guards. This whole system is rigged. Every single lucky block is made to make sure we can't get the token, which makes my neighbor getting it even more confusing.
So what's the plan now? You said things were gonna change.
They will. I'm working on it. I just need a bit more time.
What are they talking about?
It's almost ready. I made a custom batch just for you. It'll be done tonight, and I'll give it to you in the morning.
A super lucky block. That was the reward. While the rest of us risk our lives for scrap, they were dealing out custom lucky blocks for the people keeping us trapped here. But then I got an idea. This could be my ticket out. Super lucky blocks are basically guaranteed to have a token in them. If I could get to it first, I might actually get to leave this place. The guard and the shop owner walked off in separate directions. This was my chance. If I could follow the guard, sneak in, and take that block, I might actually be able to escape this rigged civilization. I followed the guard for a bit until he went inside the factory. There were 2 guards monitoring the entrance constantly. If I wanted in, I need a distraction. But I knew the same method wouldn't work again, so I had to come up with something unique. But just then, I had the perfect idea. I put one of my lucky blocks on my head and acted like a guard. They might actually believe this.
Whoa, hey, what are you doing back here? Where's your uniform?
Oh, I just forgot it inside. I'll only be a second.
Okay, just make it fast.
I couldn't believe it. It actually worked. Now, all I had to do was find that guard. I started searching every machine and every corner, and then finally, I saw him messing with the same machine I saw them at last time. Hey, what are you doing?
Just finishing the calibration. Just need 1 super lucky block for a special client.
There it was. Out of the machine he was messing with came a bright green lucky block, something I'd never seen before. It had to be the super lucky block. Yeah, I'm here to pick it up. I'll take it from here.
What are you talking about? I'm the only person on this project.
Just give me the block, man. I'll handle it.
Absolutely not. Who even are you? Are you even a guard?
Look, man, give me the block now, or I'm killing us both.
Whoa, 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 whoa. What are you doing? If you open that in here, we're both dead.
That's the point. You think I care anymore? You rigged the system and made sure none of us ever had a chance of escaping. But I have one now. Give me the block, or I'm opening this super unlucky block right here.
You don't understand. If you open that, it's a guaranteed death.
I don't care. I need that block so I can get a token and leave this place. Give me the block, and we can both leave here alive. I was completely bluffing, but the guard didn't seem to notice.
Fine, fine. Just take it.
The guard gave me the super lucky block, and I made a run for it. He was almost guaranteed to tell the other guards about this, and they would come for me instantly. But luckily, the lucky block on my head hid my face, and they had no clue who I really was. I got back to my house, made sure no one followed me, and got ready to open my super lucky block. This one block could be holding the single item that would let me leave this rigged civilization. I placed it down and broke it, ready to get my token and leave this place. Wait, what? Instead of a token, a weird glitched item drop. I've never seen anything like it before. This was supposed to be my ticket out of here. I needed an upgrade token, not whatever this weird item is. I kept looking at the item, hoping there was something I was missing, but it seemed like I just got super unlucky. This item was just glitched and broken. I might actually be stuck here forever. I didn't know what else to do, so I decided to just throw it in my chest and move on. I was super upset, not just because I didn't get a token, but because that might be my last chance I'd ever get to escape. But then, out of nowhere, I heard a siren outside of my house.
Hey, you, get out here right now.
Uh-oh, I might be in trouble.
Open up. It's time for a mandatory inspection.
Okay, 1 second. If the guards came in here and searched my house, I'd be done for. If they find this glitched item, they'll know I was the one who stole the super lucky block.
Time's up, man. Come on out now. Just stay here until we get to your house. If you weren't the one who stole the block, you've got nothing to worry about.
The guards searched every house in my neighborhood looking for whoever stole that block, and then finally, they made it to my house and I was pretty much done for. Hey, there's really no need to search my house, guys. You're not gonna find anything.
I don't know. You seem a little nervous.
What? I'm not nervous. Any second now, the guard was gonna find my glitched item and know it was me. All I could do was sit and wait for it to happen. And then the guard came out and I knew I was done for.
All clear. Nothing in there except this iron sword.
What?
Why do you sound surprised?
Oh, I'm not. I told you weren't gonna find anything.
Whatever. Let's get out of here.
What just happened? I remember putting the glitched item in that chest. Also, I've never had an iron sword. Something weird is going on. I checked back in my chest to see if it was still there, and all I could see was the sword the guard was talking about. But then, out of nowhere, the sword turned back into the glitched item. I stood there for a second, confused. 1 second it was a sword, and then the next it was something different. Something was weird about this thing. I kept looking at it for a second, but it just kept glitching, almost as if it was trying to transform. And then it hit me. Can this thing turn into other items? It was the only thing that made sense. That iron sword came out of nowhere and then turned back into the glitched item after the guards were gone. It must have disguised itself to hide from the guards. I had to test it. I picked up the item and started thinking of random things. First, I told it to turn into a block of dirt, and then right in front of me, it glitched for a second and then actually turned into dirt. I I couldn't believe it. I tried again, this time telling it to become a golden apple. And just like that, it changed again. This thing could turn into any item I wanted. And that's when I realized how crazy this really was and just how lucky I got. This might even be better than getting an upgrade token. I decided the smartest thing to do was hide the item in my inventory. That way, no one could ever find it. For the first time in a while, I actually felt a bit of hope for the future. The next morning, the guards woke me up and I came to the door expecting another unlucky block delivery. Just give me the block, man.
Sorry, man, not this time. Today's gonna be a little different.
Different how? He had me a bit worried. In Lucky Block Civilization, different usually means something bad.
Just follow me.
The guard led me over to a forest that used to be empty, but once we got close, I noticed something weird. There was a new gate built into one of the walls, a gate that definitely wasn't there before, and it was wide open. What's this?
Don't worry, you'll find out soon.
We walked through the gate and inside was just a small room, but surprisingly, I wasn't alone. Pretty much every other player from my Lucky Block Civilization was packed into this room. Everyone else seemed just as confused as I was. Hey, do you know what this is about?
No idea. I just woke up and they dragged me over here.
Same here. I thought it was just gonna be another unlucky block like every other day.
I think I'd rather an unlucky block over this. Something feels off.
This guy didn't seem any more confident than I was, which honestly just made me more nervous.
Attention residents of Lucky Block Civilization. Today marks a change in our society. After today, everything will change.
Figures. I knew different couldn't mean anything good.
For years, you've been under the impression that a token would grant you freedom. But the truth is, a token only moves you up to the next layer of civilization, the next of many.
Right. Who could have guessed?
But lucky for you, today, some of you will be moving on to the next layer of Lucky Block Civilization. But some of you might not make it out of here alive.
Everyone just stood there silent. No one knew what to say. We were all just waiting to find out what was gonna happen next. And just then, the guards came back and started leading all of us through another hallway. No one said where we were going, but it didn't seem like we had a choice anyways. Eventually, we were all led into this massive arena. Huge walls and nowhere to run. Whatever was about to happen couldn't be good. I overheard a few people talking.
This is so unfair. I thought if we got the token, we were set free, not stuck playing some stupid game.
I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. There's probably so much more to Lucky Block Civilization, and I bet some of the higher layers get even luckier blocks than we do.
Cool isn't exactly the word I would have used.
Each of you will be given 5 lucky blocks. Whatever you get from those blocks will be all you can use to defend yourselves.
Defend ourselves?
Defend ourselves from what?
Yeah, what's going on?
Good luck!
Before I touched my blocks, I watched the others to see what they got first. One guy opened his and he got a bunch of golden apples. Another one got a bunch of diamond armor. Someone even pulled an enchanted sword. It honestly wasn't looking too bad, but then I opened my first block and got cooked pork chops. I opened another and got iron boots. By the time I finished my blocks off, all I got was some iron armor, blocks, and food. No weapons, no good armor, nothing actually useful for fighting. I was starting to panic a little. We were obviously gonna have to fight something. We might even have to fight each other. With what I had right now, I didn't stand a chance. Before I could even figure out what to do, a voice came back over the intercom.
A horde of bobs have spawned in the arena. Work together to eliminate them all.
At first, I didn't know what they meant by bobs, but then I saw them start spawning. They were zombies, but not regular ones. Every single one of them was wearing full enchanted diamond armor. For some reason, a bunch of players around me got cocky.
It's just zombies. We got this.
Before I knew it, everyone else was charging straight at them like it was nothing. Meanwhile, me and another player stayed back. I don't know about him, but I wasn't geared enough to handle these bobs on my own. At first, the players seemed like they were doing fine, but then one of the players got caught on the side and immediately surrounded. He barely lasted a couple seconds before he was completely dead. Another guy tried to run in, but one of the bobs caught up and finished him off too. It was obvious none of them had the gear to survive this. It was a disaster. One by one, every other player was taken out, and before I knew it, it was just me and the other guy who stayed back. I was super stressed. If the players who actually had good gear couldn't survive, there's no way I was gonna make it with just some pork chops and iron boots. I was about ready to accept my fate, but then the only other player left called me over.
Hey, quick, over here!
I looked over and saw he had built a little shelter out of blocks. It wasn't much, but it was enough to block the zombies' line of sight. We both sat there for a moment trying to catch our breath, but then we started trying to come up with a plan.
We're not gonna survive if we just run at them. We need something unique.
If we wanted to make it out of this, we had to figure out something smarter than just swinging swords and hoping for the best. We sat there for a second thinking, just trying to figure out what to do.
Do you have anything? Like, anything useful in a fight?
My first first instinct was to say no. I mean, I had some pork chops and blocks, but that's about it. But then I remembered the glitched item. I still had it in my inventory, and it could turn into anything. Maybe it could actually save me. I focused on it and told it to become a diamond sword, and then just like that, it worked. I've got this. That's about it, though.
That's good, but we're still gonna need a plan.
He thought about it for a second and then turned back to me and told me this.
We're not gonna survive if we fight them all at once. We need to find a way to pick them off, one at a time.
It seemed simple, but it might just work. We waited for the right moment and then slowly snuck around the side of the arena, trying to stay out of sight. There was one zombie off by himself near the edge.
All right, we got one shot at this. I'll go left, you go right.
We crept up as quiet as we could. The zombie didn't even notice us. He was just standing there.
Now!
We both hit him at the same time and took him out almost instantly. It was actually a lot easier than I expected. But then I turned around. There was a zombie staring straight at us. Before I could even react, he started growling and every single zombie in the arena started running towards us.
Quick, follow me!
The other player started towering straight up. I grabbed some blocks and started following up behind him. The zombies were right below us, but they couldn't reach us. We managed to build a little platform high up in the sky, just high enough where the zombies couldn't touch us. For the moment, we were safe.
Okay, that bought us some time, but we can't stay up here forever.
He was right. We were still screwed. All of the zombies had grouped up into one massive horde right beneath us. There were dozens of them, all crammed together. And if we tried to jump down now, they'd swarm us instantly and we wouldn't even stand a chance.
We might just be done for. I don't see a way out of this.
He was starting to give up, but then I remembered something. Something risky, but it might be our only shot. Okay, wait. I might have a plan.
Yeah? What is it?
Don't worry, just trust me. I was super nervous. This wasn't exactly a good plan, but it was all we had. I pulled out the glitched item and focused real hard. I turned it into a wind charge and then launched myself into the air. While I was in the air, I focused again and turned it into a mace. I aimed for the center of the horde and slammed down with everything I had. Surprisingly, it worked. Every single zombie was gone. I looked up and saw the other guy starting to break down the tower he built.
Dude, where did you even get that mace from? That would have been useful earlier, you know.
Yeah, sorry. It's a long story. We took a second to catch our breath. For the first time since this thing started, it actually felt safe. But of course, that didn't last long.
Congratulations, you have survived the first round. Please prepare yourself. Round 2 begins shortly.
5 more lucky blocks appeared out of nowhere, right into our hands. Obviously, we weren't done yet. We both just kind of stared at our blocks for a second, but then we got to work. I opened my first block, a bow. Pretty decent. I opened a couple more and got some TNT and some blocks. Something actually useful for once. I finished my blocks off and got an ender pearl and some food. Honestly, I was feeling pretty good. Between my stuff and my new teammates' gear, I was actually starting to believe we could handle whatever they threw at us.
All right, whatever it is next, we'll handle it.
We prepared ourselves for the final round, and then out of nowhere, a giant bob spawned right in front of us. Full diamond armor, probably 5 times as big as the normal one. We froze for a second just staring at it. But then we did the only thing that made sense. We ran. We sprinted across the arena and ducked under a little shelter that my teammate had built earlier. It wasn't much, but it gave us a second to breathe. There was no way we could fight that thing head on. It was too big, too strong. You got anything useful?
Just some TNT, a water bucket, and some redstone stuff.
At first, I didn't think it'd be enough, but then an idea hit me. Wait, you can make a TNT cannon, right?
Yeah, probably.
All right, I'll distract it. You build me a TNT cannon, launch me into the air, and I'll come down with my mace and kill him. It was risky, but honestly, at this point, it was the best we had. My new teammate agreed to the plan without hesitation, and before I could second guess it, I was already sprinting out into the open. I was running straight at the giant, yelling, placing blocks, doing whatever I could to grab its attention. Meanwhile, behind me, I could see my teammate working fast, placing blocks, setting up the TNT, and then finally...
Hey, it's ready!
I didn't even think. I booked it straight for the cannon and jumped on. And then... I went flying, way higher than I expected. I looked down and there he was, the giant Bob, just standing there. As I started falling, I focused everything I could onto the glitched idol and turned it back into the mace. And right as I came down, I slammed right into the giant's head. One hit and it was over. And then the intercom came back on.
Congratulations! You have completed the Lucky Block Rank Up Challenge. You 2 remaining players will be granted an upgrade token as a reward.
A couple of guards showed up and started walking towards us. We weren't weren't really sure what to do, so we kind of just stood there awkwardly.
You two, come with us.
All right.
You're lucky to be alive, but don't test your luck. I'm sure it was a fluke.
As we were walking out, I couldn't help but ask, hey, what's the deal with this new layer thing? I thought if you got a token, you were free. No one said anything about another layer.
You really thought this was it? Your journey's just getting started. There's way more and way worse.
Me and my new teammate just stood there for a second, still trying to process everything.
This is insane.
Yeah, and somehow I feel like it's only gonna get worse. The elevator just kept going for what felt like forever, but then finally... Oh my god. This new layer was filled with houses and other players. Nothing like my old neighborhood of 5 people. Everywhere I looked, there was another group of players hanging out or opening lucky blocks.
Everyone here has so many lucky blocks. They're probably so much luckier than the unlucky blocks we used to get.
Hey, you two!
Oh god, don't tell me we're already in trouble.
Are you the new guys?
Yeah?
I think so.
Welcome, guys. Feel free to make yourself at home. I could even show you around if you'd like.
We're good. We'll just explore around ourselves.
Okay, just let me know if I can help you with anything. I'll be here all day.
That was weird.
Yeah, what a nice guy.
Me and Parrot made our way down one of the paths that led through town. While we were walking, I saw a guy break a lucky block outside of his house and get a full set of new armor.
Sick. Another set for my collection.
I guess people here are just that much luckier. Since everything here seems safe, me and my new friend decided to split up. After we figure out the basics of this new layer, we'd meet back up and figure out a plan to get out of this place. There are so many houses on this new layer. There's no way there's someone living in every single one of these. Maybe these are just public homes. I might be able to just walk in and stay there. I walked into a house filled with a kitchen, living room, and even its own bedroom. This house is so much better than my old one. This place is awesome.
What are you doing? Get out of my house.
I guess that house was already taken. Maybe this one's free.
Hey, who are you? What are you doing in my house?
Sorry. I guess these houses aren't actually free. How does this place even work? How am I supposed to get a house? Right after I said that, I conveniently found a building that said buy houses here outside. Right. Nothing in this place is free, is it? I stepped into the building hoping I could finally get myself somewhere to sleep. Hey, is this the place where you buy a house?
What? You can't read? Was the giant sign outside not big enough for you?
Right. Stupid question. Well, I don't have any money. How am I supposed to get a house?
Money? Nah, we don't use that here. If you want a house, all you gotta do is open one of our house lucky blocks.
What is a house lucky block?
Well, the name is still a work in progress. But basically, you open the block and you'll get one of our houses. If you're lucky, you might get a mansion. But if you're not, you could get something as small as a shed.
Of course it's luck-based. Everything here is ran by lucky blocks. The store owner led me to a corner and pulled out this unique lucky block that I'd never seen before. All right, here goes nothing. I placed down the block and started opening it. Whatever I got out of this would determine my living conditions for the rest of my life on this layer. I broke the block and out of it came a token. When I picked it up, I realized this was a token for a large house.
Nice, that's pretty lucky. Follow me, I'll show you where it's at.
I couldn't believe it. For once, the block didn't try and kill me.
All right, this is it. Pretty nice, right?
Yeah, this place is huge. It even has a second floor. The store owner led me inside and wished me luck, but before he left me, I stopped him. Hey, before you go, how exactly does this place work? I just got here today and everything's kind of different.
Oh, right. You're new, aren't you? Don't worry. It's pretty similar to the lower layer you used to, just a bit luckier. The only real difference is something the guards call the Trial of Luck. If you're not happy with life here on this layer, you can volunteer to participate in the Trial of Luck.
Trial of Luck? What is that?
It's a set of challenge layers designed to test how lucky you really are. Everyone starts with a base luck level. Since you just got here, I'd assume you're level 0, but the more layers you survive, the higher your luck level gets.
Wait, and people can just choose to do that?
Yeah, especially the ones who want to escape. If you somehow get to level 100, they let you leave Lucky Block Civilization altogether, but that's not very easy.
This was the first time I had heard anything about a Trial of Luck, but I had a feeling I'd be hearing a lot more about it soon. The guard made his way out of my house and I kind of just stood there for a second, thinking about everything he had said. If what he had told me was true, the Trial of Luck might be my only shot at actually getting out of this place. I decided the smartest thing to do would be to check it out myself. But then, for some reason, on my way there, I was stopped.
Hey, you! Hold up a second. You're that guy from the Lucky Block Challenge earlier, right?
Yeah, probably. Why?
Interesting. I was just wondering how you managed to get your hands on a mace. That's pretty rare.
By the way he asked it, it didn't sound like a question. It seemed as if he was suspicious of something. I don't know. I guess I just got lucky with my blocks.
Right. Is that also the case with the wind charges? What about the diamond sword? Did you just get lucky with those too?
He was on to me. I had to play it cool. Yeah, I guess I've been really lucky lately. Someone must be watching over me me or something. I could tell he wasn't buying it. He just stood there staring at me.
Sure, a luck level 0 getting 3 super rare drops. Sounds about right. I'll let you go for now, but I'm keeping my eye on you. Something doesn't feel right.
I didn't bother saying anything else. I just walked away. I knew I didn't do anything wrong. Well, not this time, but it was just the way he looked at me, as if he was just looking for an excuse to arrest me. Eventually, I made it to what seemed like the trial area. It was just a small room with a guy sitting behind a glass window like some kind of ticket booth.
Hi, how can I help you?
Oh, I'm just looking for the lucky trials, or whatever they're called.
Oh, you're here for the trial of luck. Yeah, the next trial is scheduled for tomorrow. Just sign your name on the board behind you and come back first thing in the morning.
I walked over to the sign-up board expecting to see a list full of names, but there was only one. Polly. Huh. Weird. I signed my name right below it. Whoever this Polly guy was, I guess we'd be facing the trial together. Hey, before I go, do people here still get unlucky blocks every morning? He looked at me like I just said something crazy.
What? Unlucky blocks? No. Everyone here gets one lucky block every morning. No risk. The only difference in how lucky the block ends up being is based off your luck level.
I didn't know that. It actually sounded kind of fair. I thanked the ticket guy and headed back into town. By the time I got back, the whole place had quieted down. It's weird to see a whole layer actually feel peaceful. I guess no one here feels the need to break into factories and steal blocks. The next morning, the guards woke me up for what seemed like my daily lucky block.
Rise and shine. It's time for your lucky block.
God, it's so early. I'm too tired for this.
Oh, I can come back later. You need your beauty sleep. If you want, I could get you a comfier bed or maybe some bamboo memory foam pillows.
No, it's fine. I'll take the block. The guard gave me a brand new lucky block and I walked outside to open it. As I walked out, I saw a bunch of people standing around opening their blocks. Some people were pulling golden apples, some got tools. One guy got an enchanted bow and started jumping around like a little kid on Christmas. But then, right next to me...
No way! I got one! I got a token!
Hey, congrats! Third one this week.
Did he say third? That's insane. Does that mean he gets to leave?
Leave? No. Tokens don't do that up here. That's only on the bottom layer. Here, tokens just raise your luck level a bit.
Oh, so it's still lucky, just not lucky enough to escape. I stood there for a second watching this guy celebrate his token, and then I asked one of the guards the one question that's been stuck in my mind since I got here. So, if not the token, how do we leave?
Leave? Well, you don't. Not unless you hit luck level 100. Then the gates will open and you can head out into the real world. And out there, your luck follows you. A new life. A clean slate.
Luck level 100. That's the second time I'd heard that. I couldn't even remember what the real world looked like anymore. I didn't even know if I've ever seen it. But somehow, I knew that it'd be better than this. From that moment on, I decided I was gonna reach level 100, no matter what it took. I decided to open my lucky block. I placed it down, but of course, me being a level 0 and all, I got garbage.
Aw, rough start. No worries. You'll do better tomorrow. Things will get better.
Right. It was hard to tell if the guards here were really just nice or if they were messing with me. But either way, today was the day I'd participate in the trial of luck. I dumped my stuff in my chest. I didn't want anything slowing me down in these challenges. But of course, I made sure to keep my glitched item. I made my way to the trial arena, and when I got there, I saw someone else there already waiting, and it was my parrot friend from earlier.
Oh hey, didn't know you were doing this too.
What are you doing here?
I signed up for that cool challenge thing they're doing. It sounded fun.
I looked over at the sign-up board. Polly. Wait, you're Polly?
Yeah, did you not know that?
No, you never told me your name. Before he could respond, the toll booth guy stepped out from behind the glass.
Ah, there you are. Perfect. Looks like you guys will be running this trial together.
He brought us over to some big steel door in the back of the room.
This will take you through the layers. Each level is different. Different challenges, different rules. But make it through them, you'll both gain a sizable amount of luck levels.
What's a luck level?
What? Why are you even here?
He pressed a button and opened the doors. It seemed like an elevator.
Good luck, boys. You're gonna need it.
And just like that, the trial of luck began. The elevator shook a little and then finally came to a stop. The door slid open and we stepped onto the first layer. All we saw was a straight line of lucky blocks I'd never seen before, stretching out as far as we could see. I was nervous. There's no telling what could be inside of these things. But then a voice came over the intercom.
Welcome to Trial 1. In front of you is an infinite path of lucky blocks. Each block you open will grant you one luck level, but be warned, the farther you go, the more unstable the blocks will become. You may stop and exit whenever you want. Proceed at your own risk.
The room fell silent for a second, but then, of course...
Bro, this is so free. We could literally hit level 100 today.
I wasn't so sure about that, but part of me hoped he was right. We started walking forwards, opening blocks as we went. First one dropped a bow and arrow, second one was a bit of bread, but by the fifth block, I was starting to think Polly might be right. But then, I opened the sixth. A cage appeared around me. I was completely sealed in. I didn't even have time to react. What is this? I looked up and then I saw it. An anvil falling from the sky straight towards me. Polly, get me out.
Oh shoot. Okay, hold on.
Hurry up. He ran over and started breaking the bars. And right as the last one snapped, The anvil smashed down exactly where I was standing. It missed me by less than a second. Okay, maybe this isn't so free after all.
Yeah, that was kind of close, huh? I bet you're glad I got this pickaxe.
I stood there for a second collecting myself. I didn't know if I wanted to keep going, but I knew if I wanted to make it out of this place, I needed to get to level 100, and the only way to do that was to take risks. This was gonna be a lot harder than I thought. We kept moving forward. Most of the blocks just gave us random stuff. Some food, tools, I even got a stick with knockback on. But even if most of it was junk, every block we opened was more and more stressful. The farther down the line we got, the riskier it was. Any of these blocks could kill us instantly. But then, about 15 blocks in, Polly broke one that looked a bit different. A well spawned with a sign that said, "Test your luck."
What is that?
I think it's a wishing well. The sign on the front said, "Test your luck," which is usually code for "you might die." I don't know, man. This could be a trap. What if it just blows us up? We could both die right here.
Or we could get diamonds. Do you ever think about that?
Of course he was gonna try it. He's being way too reckless. Polly pulled out a nugget and got ready to toss it in. Wait, where did you even get that?
Block 10.
Clearly you weren't paying attention.
He tossed the nugget in. I knew this one moment could end this entire journey, but then it gave us potatoes.
Well, that's just disrespectful.
You almost got us killed just for some potatoes.
I mean, I was kind of hungry.
I couldn't tell if I wanted to laugh or cry, but either way, we weren't done yet. We kept going, breaking more and more blocks. Every single one was one step closer to finally leaving this place. I kept telling Polly that we should leave. We already had enough luck levels to move on, but he wasn't listening. Dude, I'm serious. This is getting dangerous.
No, dude, this is free. We're doing great. Just a few more blocks and we'll be luckier than anyone else.
I remembered what the intercom said. The deeper we went, the more unstable the blocks would become. At this point, every block felt like a gamble.
We'll be fine. We can leave soon. Just a few more, I promise.
I hesitated, but I kept opening blocks. Nothing happened for a while until one. Suddenly, I was trapped in a full box of obsidian, filled with water. Polly, help me! I'm gonna die! If I didn't get out of here quick, I would drown and be dead forever. I started digging into the walls, but I was too slow. I couldn't get out.
It's obsidian. It takes forever.
I was running out of air and my hearts were dropping. This might actually be it. But just before I died, one block broke open and I was able to swim out, surviving on half a heart. Dude, I almost just died.
Yeah, but you didn't. You look fine to me.
I didn't respond. I just sat there. Dude, I'm done with this layer. It's time to get out of here.
All right. Fair enough. Let's go back.
We headed back to the elevator. None of us said much. I think even Polly realized that he pushed it too far.
Congratulations! You've completed the first layer of the Trial of Luck. Each of you have been rewarded 23 luck levels. Would you like to proceed to the next layer?
Polly looked over at me, as if he was asking for permission. Yeah, sure. Let's keep going. The elevator doors shut and we started moving again, heading up. We had no clue what was waiting for us on the next floor, but I knew one thing. If we wanted to survive this, we needed to be smarter. Hey, can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I need you to be more careful. We don't respawn here. It's not just your life you're gambling with, it's mine too. He took a second to respond, but then...
Look, risks are how we win this. How are we supposed to escape if we don't take a chance every once in a while? The only reason we're here is because we risked our lives in the rank up challenge yesterday. But you're right. If I'm gonna take risks, I better make sure they count. I'll be more careful.
I didn't say anything back, but I think this was the first time that I actually felt like we were in this together, as a team. The elevator stopped again. The doors opened and we stepped onto something that looked like a giant arena. And then the intercom came back on again.
Welcome to Trial 2. This challenge will be familiar to those who ranked up from the unlucky block layer. You too may open as many lucky blocks as you wish. The gear you get will be used to fight the monster that spawns in this arena. But be warned, each lucky block you open will increase the strength of the monster. Open many, you might get better loot, but the enemy will also grow stronger with every block. Please request a number of blocks and proceed when ready.
Great, another trade-off. Better gear, but a stronger enemy. We had to choose.
I think we should open a good amount of blocks.
I don't know, man. What if we get unlucky? We'll be under-geared and have to fight something we can't beat.
We'll be fine. Just gotta hit the good ones. No anvils this time.
I wasn't so sure. Either way, we'd be gambling with our lives again. I still had my glitched item. I didn't know how it would help with this place, but maybe if things went bad, it could tip the odds in our favor. Alright, I want 10 blocks. That should be enough to get some gear without making the fight impossible. Just then, 10 blocks appeared in my hand, but right after that...
I'll take 20.
What? Why would you take double what I took? That thing's gonna be twice as strong now.
Dude, if we're gonna survive, we need actual gear. 10 blocks is baby loot. 20 means better odds. We already took down a giant Bob, remember? Whatever's next can't be any worse than that.
I wasn't so sure, but it was too late. He had already confirmed his number.
Difficulty confirmed. Please open your blocks and prepare for the fight.
We got started right away. I opened mine pretty quickly. I got a couple potions, some decent weapons, and a bit of diamond armor, but the rest of it, garbage. Seriously? It felt like the blocks were playing with me. They knew I was trying to play it safe and punished me for it. I looked over at Polly to see if he was ready, but he was still opening blocks. Are you serious right now?
Bro, just give me one more second. I'm on like number 16. Ooh, look, golden apples. Told you it'd be worth it.
We're both gonna die here just because he wanted apples. He just kept going. I stood there while he opened the last few, and then finally he finished.
Block phase complete. To your right, you will find a supply station. You may trade in your leftover loot for additional gear before the battle begins.
Oh wow, that's useful.
We both walked over to the exchange tables. I assumed most of my stuff was worthless until I noticed something near the back of the shop. Apparently, beacons could be traded in for a sword, a really good one. The guy behind the counter told me it had a unique stun effect on mobs, and it looked amazing. Okay, I'll take it. This was awesome. For once, something was finally going my way. Between this new sword and my glitched item, I was feeling confident. Maybe we could actually win this.
Final warning, battle phase starting soon. You open 30 blocks. Your opponent will be scaled accordingly.
I was nervous. Maybe we went a bit overboard.
Defeating this opponent will grant each of you 30 luck levels.
Okay, we got this.
3, 2, 1.
A giant Lucky Block mutant zombie spawned right in front of us. I was kind of confident in the gear I had, but not enough to fight something like this. We were pretty much done for.
This is gonna be easy.
For some reason, Polly just ran straight towards it. I knew if he tried to fight it by himself, he wouldn't stand a chance. So hesitantly, I ran into battle with him. This thing was strong, but for a bit, we were doing well. My new stun sword was working perfectly, and it seemed like we might actually be able to handle this. But then, the zombie picked Polly up and threw him into the air. And then, mid-air, the zombie grabbed him again and slammed him into the ground. Somehow Polly survived, but I knew he had to be hurting after that. I had to save him. He's the only teammate I've ever had. I couldn't let him die. Polly, come here. Follow me. Polly and I ran to a spot I saw earlier. It was small enough where the mutant zombie couldn't get in. For the moment, we were safe here.
That was way too close. I don't know why we just ran straight at it. That was stupid.
Right. I knew if we wanted a chance at killing this thing, we would have to work together as a team, just like how we did against the giant Bob before. We need a plan.
Well, I don't have the materials to build another TNT cannon, so we're gonna have to come up with something else.
I still had my glitched item, but there wasn't really anything I could turn it into that would be strong enough to take down a mutant zombie. At least, not on its own. But then I remembered the sword, the one from the beacon trade. Wait, I think I have something.
Please tell me it's not just TNT again.
No, the stun sword. It only freezes the zombie for a second, but if we time it right, it might be enough. I walked him through the plan. First, I'd hit the mutant zombie and stun it, and while it was frozen, he'd land a hit, and then I'd stun it again, and again, and again. If we kept alternating perfectly, we could trap the zombie in a loop where it never got the chance to fight back.
Honestly, that's kind of genius. Let's do it.
I didn't know if this would actually work, but we were out of options and out of time. We charged in, and right away, I landed the first hit. The stun worked. It froze the mutant zombie in place just for a second. Polly, go! Polly ran up and landed a heavy strike and then backed off. I followed it up with another stun, and we just kept repeating it. To my surprise, it was actually working until it wasn't. I swung too early and messed up the entire thing, and suddenly, the zombie grabbed me and launched me into the air. He slammed me back down onto the ground, and I barely survived. I tried to run, but before I knew it, I was cornered. Polly, help! It raised its arms to finish me off. I thought this was it, but then suddenly, Polly saved me. The zombie collapsed, and it wasn't getting back up. Wait, is it dead?
I think so. I think we won.
Polly and I both celebrated. I was honestly just happy that I was able to make it out of here alive. Thanks for saving my life, Polly. That was close.
Yeah, well, you said we had to work as a team.
For a second, I actually thought it was over, but then out of nowhere, the zombie got back up. Wait, what?
Run!
Polly and I both ran back to the edge of the arena, back to our safe spot, trying to come up with a new plan.
Okay, well, we killed him once. We can do it again, right?
We needed something more, something creative. I remembered I still had my glitched item, but I was completely blanking on how to use it. We can't just keep swinging. Clearly, that's not gonna cut it. I looked at Polly and then back at my glitched item. After everything we've been through, it's clearly been enough time for me to trust him. I think it's time I tell him about my glitched item. Polly, there's something I haven't told you about.
What are you talking about?
I have this item, and it can turn into anything. Like, literally anything. He didn't say anything at first. I was starting to think maybe he didn't understand, but then...
Wow, that's insane. Is that how you got the mace and the wind charges? Whoa, that's pretty useful. Whoever gets their hand on that item might be the strongest person in Lucky Block civilization.
Yeah, I'm scared it's gonna make me a target. That's why I haven't told anyone except you.
Good. I mean, what if you turn the item into dripstone? We could bait the zombie into a trap and then drop it on him and kill him easily.
It was perfect. Yeah, I think that actually worked.
All right, just give me the item and I'll handle the dripstone part.
What?
I mean, I'll do it. You can focus on running or distracting it or whatever. I'll make the dripstone trap, you bait it, and I'll kill it.
Absolutely not. There was no chance I was handing this thing over. I'll handle the dripstone. You just bait it into position. He looked a little disappointed, but he didn't argue. We gave each other one last nod and then took off in opposite directions. I towered up fast, building high enough that the zombie couldn't reach me. Once I got to the top, I got the glitched item ready. Now, all we needed was for Polly to bait the zombie into position. Polly, go now. He didn't hesitate. He baited the mutant zombie right towards me, and just before it reached my tower, I dropped the dripstone. And it was perfect. It slammed down right onto his head, and he fell down instantly.
That was perfect. Easy 30 luck levels.
We just stood there for a second processing what happened, and then the intercom buzzed back on.
Congratulations! Challenge complete. You are both now at luck level 53, halfway to 100.
I couldn't believe it. After just one day of trials, we were already halfway to completion.
This concludes today's trials. Please return to the elevator and head back to town.
Just like that, it was over. Polly and I didn't say much on the way back, but we both knew this wasn't the end. Not even close. We stepped into the elevator and started heading down. I was still thinking about how close that fight was, but Polly had something else on his mind.
Hey, I gotta admit, I didn't believe you at first about the glitched item, but that was insane. Like, actually broken.
I didn't say anything. He was being weird.
So, can I see it? Just for a second. I promise I'll give it back.
No, bro. I'm just gonna hold on to it. He didn't argue, but something about the way he was acting felt off. We made it back into town and were greeted by the ticket booth guy from earlier.
Wow, you guys actually made it back alive. How'd you do?
53 luck levels each. I could tell he was surprised.
Wow, that's not bad. If you want to run another trial tomorrow, just sign up now before you head out.
We both agreed and signed our names onto the sign-up board and then headed back into town. Once we got to my house, me and Polly parted ways. See you tomorrow, Polly.
Yeah, later.
I watched him walk away, but for the first time, I was starting to feel a little suspicious. I feel like he's hiding something. As I got inside, something still felt off. Polly's been a great teammate. He's been helpful and reliable, but the way he acted when I told him about that glitched item, it was different, as if he wanted it. It seemed like in that moment, he was thinking about more than just surviving. And that's when I realized this item is way too powerful to risk losing. If I let my guard down even for a second, I might never see it again. So I did the only thing I could think of. I made a barrel, tucked it behind a block in the back of my house, and buried it behind a wall. Now, no one could find it. Not even Polly. Especially not Polly. Tomorrow, the trials would start again, but tonight, I just needed to get some sleep and hope no one would come for my item in the middle of the night. But before the night was over, I was woken up by a guard.
It's time for a mandatory search. Open up now.
I stumbled to the door half asleep. Seriously? Why do you guys search everyone's house so much?
We're not searching everyone, just you. We received information that you're in possession of an illegal item.
My stomach dropped. What are you talking about?
I was watching you during the trials. I heard what you said about that glitched item.
I tried to play it dumb. I don't know what you're talking about. Multiple guards showed up, digging through my house, checking every chest, barrel, and corner of my base. You guys aren't gonna find anything. I'm innocent.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
They kept tearing through my stuff for what felt like forever, until finally, one of them turned back to the head guard.
We can't find anything. There's nothing here.
Keep looking. It has to be here.
We looked everywhere. It's not here.
He was clearly annoyed. He was on to me.
Fine, we're done here. But listen to me. Be careful. I'll be watching you like a hawk.
The guards left my house, and even though they didn't find the item, it didn't matter. Everyone knew now. The guards knew, other players probably knew. I wasn't just a regular citizen anymore. I was a target. I barely had time to breathe before someone came knocking on my door. I assumed the guards were back to search my house again, but when I opened it, it wasn't a guard. It was some random guy I'd never seen before.
Hey, I don't think we've met yet. I just wanted to say hi. I think we could be great friends.
I was confused. What do you want? Before he could answer, another player walked up beside him.
Oh hey, you live here? I've been meaning to introduce myself. I think we'd get along very well.
Before I knew it, my house was being flooded with these random people.
Hey, could we come in? Maybe hang out?
There were way too many of them, and each of them had the same look in their eyes. They all knew about my glitched item.
All right, bro, that's it. Just give us the glitched item.
Yeah, just hold on. I'll be right back. I ran downstairs and snuck out the back door. I was scared of what they'd do if I said no. Luckily, they didn't follow me, but they didn't need to. Word was out. I wasn't safe here anymore. I had to get out of there fast. I made my way across town and headed for the house store. I didn't know what my options were, but anything had to be better than this. Hey, is there any way I can get a different house? Something more private?
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you've got something to trade. We're accepting offers right now. You could even get one of those mansions if the deal's good enough.
What? How does that work?
Well, it's this new rule we added. If you've got anything valuable, tools, gear, tokens, glitched items.
Did he just say what I think he said? I don't have anything to trade. I just want a new house.
Are you sure? Nothing? Nothing at all?
It was clear what he was doing. He clearly wanted the glitched item. Everyone did. I'm not giving it to you, dude.
Relax, I'm just saying, it's an option. Word travels fast around here, you know. Lucky Block civilization isn't exactly known for being discreet.
He was right. Somehow, everyone already knew. And now, every door I walked through, every person I talked to, they'd all be thinking about the same thing. I just need a house, man. A safe one. Somewhere no one would find me.
All right. I've got one I can assign you, completely out of the way. Just don't tell anyone where you're going.
I didn't say anything. I just nodded. It was clear now. This glitched item wasn't just a tool anymore. It was a curse. And if I didn't take care of it fast, it'd be the thing that gets me killed. The guy from the housing shop walked me all the way out to the edge of the town. The place he picked out for me was tucked right in the corner. No one was following me all the way out here.
All right, this is it. It's nothing special, but it's quiet, and no one comes out this far. You should be safe here.
I didn't say anything. I just nodded.
Look, just remember everything I've done for you, all right? Not everyone gets this kind of treatment.
I gave him a half-hearted thanks as he turned around and walked off, but the second he disappeared, I shut the door and locked it behind me. I tried to settle into my new house, but I was still nervous. I knew if someone found me, they'd do anything they could to get that glitched item off of me. But then I realized something. I didn't even have the glitched item. I left it in my old house. Everything I've done up to this point, none of it would have been possible without that item. If I want to finish this, if I want to escape, I need it back. I headed outside and went straight towards my old house. As I got closer, I saw a bunch of people grouped up outside. They were just standing there, talking.
Look, when he comes back, we ask him for the glitched item. If he says no, we'll just take it. Simple.
I ducked behind a tree. My heart was pounding. There's no way I was gonna get to it without being seen. I needed some kind of distraction. And just then, by pure coincidence, someone across the street opened a Lucky Block and started screaming about a token. And suddenly, everyone ran over to see what was going on. Wow, that's lucky. While the crowd ran towards the noise, I slipped out from behind a tree and ran into my house. I didn't have long. I just needed to grab the item and vanish before anyone noticed. I made my way to where I hid the item, and luckily, it was still there. I tucked it in my inventory and then tried to make my way back out. But just as I reached the door, they were back. Someone must have seen me. I couldn't go out that way anymore. The only other option was the back door. I made my way towards it, but then...
Hey, wait a second. You're the guy.
I turned around and there was a guy standing alone just staring at me.
You have the item, right? Actually, I know you have it. Don't make this harder than it has to be.
He was getting aggressive. I couldn't risk it. Not this time. I reached for the glitched item and shifted it back into the stun sword from earlier. I lunged forward and attacked him.
What the? What? Why can't I move?
I didn't wait around to see how long the stun would last. I knew it wouldn't be long. Just enough to buy me a bit of time. I ran off and headed back to my new home. That night, I finally got some sleep. For the first time in a while, I wasn't constantly watching the door. My item was hidden and the house was quiet and safe. But in the morning, I made my way to the arena. This could be my final day in Lucky Block Civilization. If I play this right, I might actually get out. I stepped into the trial room expecting the usual. Just me, Polly, and maybe a few guards watching from the side. But this time, something felt off.
You're early. Everyone else is still on their way.
Everyone else? What do you mean? I looked over at the sign-up board. Last time, it was just me and Polly. But this time, it was packed. The sign-up board was full of names I'd never seen before. And just then, I turned around and saw about 10 people show up for the trial room. And they were all looking straight at me.
So that's him? That's the one with the glitched item?
Yeah, this'll be fun.
Something was wrong. I could tell they weren't here for the luck levels. They were here for me.
All right, everyone, trial's ready. Follow me.
There's so many of them. This might be a bit harder than last time. We all stepped into the elevator and made our way up. When we made it to the top, we stepped off the elevator and were immediately funneled into these narrow hallways. It was a lot less welcoming than the challenges we were put through yesterday. Thankfully, Polly was still beside me, and apparently we were being sorted into teams. Whatever this game was, it's safe to assume we'll need to work as a team.
At least we're still together. I wouldn't want to have to fight against you with that glitched item.
Before I could respond, the tunnel opened up and we stepped out into a massive arena. Towering walls, open sky, and scattered loot chests. It looked like some kind of battlefield.
Welcome to the first trial of the day. This challenge is what we call Lucky Block Hunger Games. You'll be fighting in a last team standing battle. Lucky blocks and other useful loot are scattered around the map. The last team of 2 standing wins 30 luck levels each.
The gates in front of us were still closed, but across the battlefield, I could see other teams getting into position. People were already eyeing each other, looking for a target. And just then, a countdown started. All right, what's the plan?
We stay on the edge. Let them wipe each other out. You having that glitched item makes you a target. We have to stay hidden.
3, 2, 1.
The gates opened and chaos ensued. Immediately, people were running straight into the middle, looking for gear or a fight. But me and Polly sprinted in the opposite direction, towards the wall, where no one else was headed. If we were gonna win this thing, we had to play it safe. We found a small shelter tucked away at the edge of the map. Inside was a chest stuffed with lucky blocks. Exactly what we were looking for. Polly and I got to work breaking them open fast. We got some potions, armor, some decent weapons. It wasn't game breaking, but it was enough to keep us alive if we got into trouble. I looked up for a second and saw 2 players fighting nearby. One of them had full diamond gear already, and the other had barely anything. It wasn't even close. He was basically toying with him. The second he landed the finishing blow, I turned back to Polly. We need more gear. If we run into someone like that, we're done for.
Okay, just use your glitched item. Give us everything we need and we'll be fine.
It doesn't work like that. It can only make 1 item at a time. We're not getting stacked from it. He looked a little frustrated, but then he pointed past the shelter.
All right, look over there. There's another shack. It might have more loot in it.
It wasn't ideal, but it was all we had. If we wanted to stand a chance, we had to keep moving. We sprinted over and found another chest tucked into the corner of the shack. Jackpot. More lucky blocks. But just as I reached down to open one, I heard footsteps, and then 2 guys showed up with their weapons out.
Hey, drop the blocks now.
I froze. We didn't have the gear to fight this. Okay, just take them.
No, we're not giving them anything.
You sure? Because I don't mind taking them the hard way.
I was super nervous. I glanced over at Polly, hoping he'd change his mind, but instead, he was just looking at me.
Come on, man, do something. Use the glitched item or something.
I panicked. I didn't know what to do. I wasn't ready for this. If I tried something here, I'd almost certainly die. It wasn't worth it. Here, just take them.
Seriously?
Wow, that's just sad.
They snatched the blocks and walked off, laughing at us.
What was that? You just let them take it? Why didn't you use the glitched item? We could have ended that in seconds.
Dude, it's not that easy. The glitched item isn't just a magic fix for everything. He didn't say anything back. We both knew things were falling apart, but we didn't have time to argue. We had to move. We kept searching, pushing deeper into the outskirts until we found one last chest. It was barely visible behind a small stone wall. Polly opened it, and inside were lucky blocks, enough to get us some more gear.
This might be it. This could be what saves us.
We opened them fast. No time to be careful. I pulled a golden chest plate. He got an enchanted sword, a shield, some golden apples. Finally, we had a shot at winning this.
2 teams remaining.
My stomach dropped. After everything, we were in the final 2. We weren't just fighting for luck levels anymore. We were fighting for our lives. We crept closer to the center. I could see them now, fully geared, standing tall as if they'd already won. They hadn't seen us yet, but if they did, we knew it'd be over.
They outgear us, man. We're not walking out of this alive if we fight them head on.
I was about to agree until I had an idea. Something risky, something stupid, but it might just work. Wait, what if you light a TNT and I use the glitched item to turn it into a fishing rod? I could pull the TNT right onto them and they'd never see it coming.
Are you serious?
Yeah, this could actually work. He was hesitant, but he gave me the nod of approval. I snuck around the last 2 players, and when I got close enough, I started towering up. If I get directly above them, I should be able to pull the TNT to fall right on top of them. I pulled out the glitched item and got ready. I had to time this perfectly. Polly lit the TNT, I shifted the item into the fishing rod, and then flung it with everything I had. The second it hit the TNT, I yanked it over, and then it worked. As fast as it started, the challenge was over. We actually won.
Challenge complete. 30 luck levels awarded to both remaining players. Updated total, 83 luck levels.
I couldn't believe it. We actually did it. Polly, we're at 83 luck levels. One more challenge and we'll actually make it to level 100.
This is insane. Nothing's stopping us now. We'll finally be able to leave Lucky Block Civilization.
We were both happier than we had ever been, but it wasn't time to celebrate. We still had one more challenge. It wasn't over yet. We made our way back to the elevator and to the next challenge. We stepped into the next challenge, but it wasn't another arena. It was just a void. Kind of like the challenge with the endless lucky blocks, but this time it was just 2 floating islands made up of rainbow lucky blocks. Just then, the intercom buzzed back on.
Welcome to your final challenge. Both of you have your own island, but only one of you will make it out of here with the luck levels. Using the lucky blocks on your island, you will fight until 1 player remains. The winner will be rewarded the final levels needed to reach luck level 100.
Wait, what? Only one of us can win? I looked across the void and there was Polly on his island. And for some reason, he was already opening blocks as if he was getting ready to fight. I didn't have time to ask what he was doing. He was speeding through blocks as if he was waiting for this his entire life. Polly, hold on. We don't have to do this. He didn't say anything. He didn't even look at me. He just kept opening his blocks. I felt sick. After everything we'd been through, fighting mobs, mutant zombies, nearly drowning, and being crushed by anvils, now now he was completely fine betraying me for a couple luck levels. I stared at my blocks. I was too nervous. I didn't want to fight Polly. Not after everything. But if I hesitated, I'd be handing him the win. The way he was opening blocks, it wasn't just desperation. He wanted to win this badly. I started opening my first blocks, then another and another. I didn't want to do this, but I wasn't ready to die here either. Polly, this is insane. There has to be another way. We don't have to fight.
I've made it too far to stop now. One of us has to win. One of us has to make it out of this place. And it has to be me.
I looked down at the glitched item in my hotbar. I'd made it this far because of it, but I didn't want to use it on him. Not unless I had no other choice. I had barely even started opening my blocks. I was hoping, praying that one of them would give me something that would help me win without having to kill him. I didn't want it to end like this, but I also didn't want to die. Just when I looked up, Polly was already bridging over to me, fast. Polly, stop. This isn't worth it. We don't have to fight. He didn't even pause. He didn't say a word. I backed up on my island. Panic was setting in. I wasn't ready for this. I didn't have gear to fight back. I reached for my glitched item and turned it into a shield, just in time to block his first strike. Polly, stop. You don't have to kill me.
I have to. This is my way out. No one's stopping me this time. Not even you.
The hits kept coming, blow after blow, slamming into the shield. I kept blocking, kept defending. This is all I could do without hurting him. Soon enough, my shield would break and Polly would actually kill me. There was nothing I could do. But then, right when I thought it was over...
Stop fighting. The challenge is over. Polly has been declared the winner of the final challenge.
My heart dropped. I thought for sure I was dead there.
However, this was not a test of strength. This was a challenge of character.
What?
Polly, you have now reached luck level 100. You have won. But not what you think.
The room went silent. Polly stood frozen. I could see the confusion in his face. We all thought level 100 meant freedom, but maybe we were lied to. Again.
As of now, you are officially crowned King of Lucky Block Civilization.
King? Polly is the new king?
Wait, what? I thought I'd get to leave.
Freedom is no longer your path. Leadership is. You now control all layers, all trials, all players.
A pair of guards stepped out from the elevator and motioned for us to follow them. We didn't speak. We just followed. They led us to a layer I'd never seen before. Everything was different. No giant stone walls, just some kind of polished throne room. And in the middle, there was a throne, one clearly made for a king. Polly walked forward, slowly. He still hadn't said a word. The guards handed him a strange golden crown. It shimmered, almost as if it was made of lucky blocks themselves.
You are now in control. Long live the king.
I didn't know what to say. We came here to escape, to survive. But now, Polly had just inherited the entire civilization. And for the first time, I wasn't sure what to do. At first, I thought maybe this could be a good thing. Polly was my friend. We'd been through everything together. Maybe now, together, we could finally make things better for Lucky Block Civilization.
As my first act as king, I'm ordering the confiscation of all illegal items, starting with Gorf's glitched item.
I froze. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I waited for him to say he was kidding, but then the guard started walking towards me. Polly, what are you doing? You know I need this. I can't survive without it. Sorry, Gorf, but it's the law now. I'm sure you understand. I backed away, but it didn't matter. Two guards attacked me. I tried to fight them off, but it wasn't worth it.
Hand over the item now.
I hesitated, but what choice did I have? Slowly, I dropped the glitched item into their hands. It felt like I was giving away a part of myself.
Thank you. Now, guards, take care of him.
Those words struck me like a sword. I didn't even have time to ask what he meant before they started hitting me and forcing me into the elevator. I looked back one last time, hoping maybe Polly would stop them. Maybe this was all just one big joke, but he just stood there watching. The guards shut the elevator, and just like that, I was back to square one. I had nothing. Finally, the elevator opened and we were back at the bottom layer, the one I started at so long ago. I looked around. Everything felt smaller now, emptier. The glitched item was gone. Polly was gone. My freedom was gone. All I could think about now was how close I was, and how now it's all gone. But just then...
Let me guess. Polly betrayed you too?
I turned around. It was some guy just standing there, looking just as beaten down as me. What do you mean, too?
I'll explain later. First, let's get out of this place.
Somehow, this guy had a glitched item too.
You do want out, right?
Of course. What do you want me to do? Just like that, I had hope again. Maybe Polly closed one door, but this guy, he just opened a new one. My dream of escaping might not be gone forever. If you made it to the end of the video and want to be notified as soon as Season 2 comes out, please subscribe. It helps me out a lot, and literally only 3% of the people watching are subscribed. So chances are you're not subbed. Go ahead.